Hey, you no good, useless old cow. I want you out of the house right now. Do you hear me? I can't stand being around you for another second. Honestly, just how long are you going to be bumming around in my house for, huh? You think I run some kind of charity or something? I want you gone!
Cameron, what in the world are you talking about all of a sudden? Where is all of this even coming from?
Oh, please. You and I both know very well that this has been a long time coming, and it's high time that I finally put an end to all of this nonsense. Now, you are going to collect your bags, leave this house, and never, ever come back ever again. Got it? I don't ever want to see your face again. I don't ever want to hear your voice again. I don't even want to live in the same state as you. But I guess I can't control that.
Wait a second, you mean that you're really serious about all of this? You really want me to just pack up all my things and just move out of the house? I don't understand though, where is all of this even coming from? I don't know what I did to make you ask this. I mean, is this your way of asking for a divorce? Are things really over for us? I don't understand what's going on here.
You really want to know why this is going on right now, Linda? I'm surprised that you can't just figure out this for yourself at this point. But the reason I want you out of the house, the reason I want a divorce, and to get you out of my life forever, is because you're barren. You can't have any kids, that's why.
Wait, what? What do you mean? I don't understand. Is that really why you want me to go?
That's right. I really didn't think things were going to get this bad. I really never imagined that a girl like you would even be infertile the way you are. But now that I know the truth, now that I know how truly useless you are, there's just no point in keeping you around at all. And that means there's no point in being married either. The only reason I married you in the first place was so that we can have kids. My parents just wouldn't get off my back about finding a girl to have kids with. So this is all their fault too. Just any chance they got, they would always ask if I was going to have kids soon.
But Cameron, you know that we can't help that. Besides, we've only been married a year. And it doesn't mean that either of us are medically infertile. Some couples can be married a long time and just don't ever have kids.
Well, I want kids. And I know the reason why we don't have any is thanks to you. This is really all your fault at the end of the day, and you and I both know that. I know that this is all your fault. And how dare you even imply that it could be either one of us? You're the only one whose fault this could be. Do you have any idea how hard I work for this family? How much I try to provide for us? And yet you really have the gall to sit there and pretend like things are going to be okay, even though we know how useless you are now. Well, I am not going to sit here and put up with you any longer than I have to now. I want you out of the house, and I want you out right now. You're basically trash, and I'm asking you to take yourself out. But if you don't, I will. I promise you that.
Cameron, if you want to ask for a divorce, then just ask me for one. There's no need to take this tone or use this kind of language with me.
I just knew that I should have tried to get married to someone younger than me. But maybe it's not too late. Maybe I'll still be able to find a young woman who wants to marry me. But first that means taking out the trash and getting rid of you. I seriously can't believe that I let you leech off me for a whole year. You've done nothing but spend my money.
And so that's why you think it's okay to force me out of the house and end our marriage? Well, that says a lot more about you than it does me. And you should know that I am not infertile. I am perfectly capable of having children, thank you very much.
Look, Linda, I get why you wouldn't want to admit that you're the problem here, but it's just a fact. There's no point in trying to deny it or run away from it. Anyways, I've already signed my half of the divorce papers, and they're sitting on the kitchen table. So why don't you sign your half, and then send them off to be processed for me?
You mean that on top of everything else, you're going to make me take these papers down to the courthouse to finalize our divorce alone? Well, fine then. Maybe this is a good idea after all. Good riddance, you lousy, pathetic excuse of a man. I hope that I never, ever have the displeasure of having to ever see you again.
Oh man, just what the heck do you think you're doing, huh? Don't tell me that you've been stalking me after all these years. I would have thought that you'd finally gotten over me. But I guess I can't blame you for not. But wow, after 3 years, I would have thought you might have just gotten bored and decided to go and bother someone else.
Cameron, what in the world are you talking about? Did you really think that I'm stalking you? I literally am only attending a wedding, and that's all. But it's not like I knew it was a wedding that you were going to be at, and I certainly wasn't planning on running into you today. But when I got here and realized that you were going to be the groom, I knew this day was going to be all downhill from there.
What are you talking about? I'm the one who should be saying that, if anything. I mean, it's a wedding day, and now I'm having to deal with my crazy stalker ex? Frankly, I'm just a bit scared that you're even here.
Well, I'm telling you that I'm not stalking you, and I didn't even know that this was a wedding that you'd be at. I told you all those years ago that I never wanted anything to do with you, so why do you think I would knowingly come to this if I knew you were going to be here?
Well, because it's clear that you're still into me. What other reason would there be for you to come here? If not, because you're still into me after all this time? Still though, I really just think that it's time for you to move on. I don't want anything to do with you, so swallow your feelings and leave me alone.
You really haven't changed at all in these 3 years, have you? You still just refuse to listen to anyone but yourself. I'll have you know that I moved on a long time ago and am not interested in you in the slightest. I mean, can you really not just tell that by looking at me?
Yeah, no. The only thing I can tell by looking at you is that you're still clearly head over heels in love with me, and that nothing is going to change that for you.
Honestly, just what about me being here actually makes you think that, huh? Don't forget that you were the one who left me for no good reason. Why would I ever want to see you again after that? And don't make up some lie about me still wanting you. That's just creepy.
Well, like you said, the proof is in the pudding, and all I have to do is look at you to see the effect that I had on you. It's obvious that you took us breaking up really hard. You must have been in so much shock, and that's why you've gained all this weight. You look like a whale, Linda.
You know, Cameron, I think you're the one that's still hung up on what happened between us 3 years ago. Can you please just give this bullying a rest already? Besides, I'm not fat, and you have nothing to do with why I look like this.
Oh, it's okay. There's no need to be embarrassed just because you look like you swallowed a couple of car tires. I mean, that poor dress that you're wearing looks like it might just burst off of you. Honestly, even before I realized it was you, I was cracking up at who this cow at this wedding might be.
You really are just horrible. Do you know that? And for the last time, I am not fat, and the way I look has nothing to do with you. Besides, I'm not even fat. Can you really not figure out what might be going on just by looking at me?
Oh, come on. You can't hide what's going on there. There's too much to be able to hide anyways. Just admit it. Admit that the shock of our divorce was too much for you, and so you started stress eating, and that's why you're like this now. Of course, it's not my fault that you did that, though.
Look, Cameron, I am trying to tell you that you are dead wrong. Why won't you listen to me?
Well, it's because you're just in denial. But it's okay. I'm glad you're here, because it's just so funny to laugh at how you've become. Why would you even bother to show up at this wedding looking like that? Surely, you must have figured that I'd make fun of you for all of the weight you put on.
Well, it's not weight, it's a baby. I am pregnant with a baby, Cameron.
Wait, what? What are you talking about? That can't be right. How can you be pregnant? That just doesn't make sense at all.
And just why doesn't it make sense for me to be pregnant, huh?
Oh, come on. Did you forget why I wanted to divorce you, Linda? I know that you remember, so don't play dumb with me and act like you don't know.
I'm not pretending like I don't know anything, and I remember you left me because you decided that I couldn't have any kids without any proof of the matter. And then you demanded that I divorce you for that reason. That's why you left me. So if anything, I would say that I have a much clearer memory of what really happened than you do.
I seriously have no idea what you're going on about. But I know that the fact of the matter is that you can't get pregnant. I mean, that's why I divorced you.
Are you even reading my texts? I'm trying to tell you that you decided that with no proof that it was true at all.
I'm really not following you there. What are you trying to say?
Ugh, whatever. It's clear that this conversation is just going to start going in circles anyways. I don't see any point in keeping this up. I'm just going to go and try and enjoy this wedding.
You fat cow! I'll make you the laughingstock of this wedding. I'll tell everyone all about how you snuck in here because you still have feelings for me. I'll make sure that everyone knows you're nothing but a jaded stalker and a fat one at that. Did you really think that I was going to take you back if you came here looking like that? You've got to learn, and I'll tell you that much.
Cameron, for the last time, you are the one who's wrong here. I am telling you that I am pregnant, and I didn't gain weight because you left me. Can you please just stop with all this nonsense already?
It's fine. You could just say that you don't have any other lie to try and sell to me. But if you don't want to get made the laughingstock of this place, then I would leave now. Just turn around and walk out that door if you can even fit through it, you fat ugly cow.
I really don't think that things are going to go your way if you try anything with me, Cameron. In fact, I think if you even try anything to embarrass me, that it is all going to fall back on you.
You really have lost your mind, did you know that? Don't you know that everyone here at the wedding is here to see me? More than half of these people are from my company, in fact. Obviously, they're going to trust me over you and believe that I have to say over some fat, crazy stalker.
I'm telling you that if you try anything, you are going to regret it. Now, don't say that I didn't warn you. I am seriously trying to give you some advice here, and you should really listen to it for your own sake.
Hey, just what the heck is even going on here? I don't get it. What are these people thinking? Why am I being forcefully removed from this wedding? It doesn't make any sense at all.
It probably had to do with you acting the way you were acting around her.
That can't be right, though. I didn't do anything wrong at all. This isn't fair. I didn't do anything wrong.
Well, the wedding venue certainly doesn't seem to agree with you there. But, like I said, you haven't really changed and you still seem incapable of accepting that anyone other than yourself could be right.
And just what is that supposed to mean? I still don't understand what's going on here.
Well, you should know that the father of the baby that I'm carrying right now is, in fact, my new husband's baby. Of course, everyone else here at the wedding realized or managed to guess that. Do you really not see why the whole wedding party might turn against you after what you did to me?
Well, it's all my fault. I didn't think that you were going to scream so loudly. Besides, this still doesn't explain why people are treating you like you're better than me.
It has nothing to do with being better or worse or higher or lower than anyone. The fact of the matter is that you were acting ridiculously in a public space. I mean, you did realize that we were surrounded by people, right? That we're both at a crowded wedding? Did you really not think at all that someone might say something about the way you were acting? That you weren't just publicly embarrassing yourself in front of everyone else? You really should have just learned when to stop, but you just kept pushing and it got you chased out of this wedding for your own coworker.
Well, just how in the world was I supposed to know that your new husband was the CEO for our company? How could a fat, ugly cow like you land a man like that? That math just doesn't add up, and I know that you're trying to pull something on me. I know that you're up to something.
You really have no idea what my life has been like since you left it. I'll have you know that I met my husband completely by chance. You have had nothing to do with my life since we decided to end our relationship, and it's coincidence again that I've come to a wedding that you also happen to be at.
But that's just my point. How dare these people kick me out of this wedding? What's the matter with them? How could you do this to me?
Are you seriously going to try and blame me for what you've done to yourself? I told you all those years ago that I wasn't infertile and that I could still get pregnant. Now, all these years later, you tried to put me down using that same old line about being barren. You thought that everyone else at the wedding would find it as funny as you did. And that's why the groom decided that he finally had enough of you causing a scene at his wedding and ordered you thrown out. Now please tell me exactly which part of that is my fault and why you think that way.
Oh, just shut up already. You know that it's your fault, and you're just hiding behind other people. And don't you know the trouble that I'm in now? The groom for the wedding is my manager. Don't you realize the horrible things that could happen to me now?
Well, it sounds to me like that's just you accepting responsibility for your actions, but I'm not surprised you're just trying to run from that. You know, there hasn't been a single day where I haven't been happy that you and I broke up.
Oh, just shut up. Shut up, shut up, shut up. You completely embarrassed me in front of everyone in there. Don't you realize that? This is all your fault. You humiliated me in front of my coworkers. And how dare you get remarried before I do? That's not fair. How could you do that to me?
You can't say that I didn't warn you, Cameron. We were texting earlier today and I tried to tell you that I was pregnant. I told you that I wasn't barren or anything like that. If anything, the one who can't have kids is probably you.
And just what is that supposed to mean, huh? How in the world do you figure that I'm the reason we couldn't have kids?
Seriously? You can't put that one together yourself? If we couldn't have kids together, but I'm clearly capable of having kids, then whose fault is it? I'm pregnant, so it clearly is not mine. Are you starting to get what I'm saying now, Cameron?
Wait a second. I think I get it now. You're saying that you're pregnant with my kid.
Are you stupid or something? How on earth could it even possibly be that? We got divorced 3 years ago, and I haven't seen you since then.
But then, what do you mean? What are you trying to imply about me with your pregnancy? I don't understand.
I'm saying that you might want to schedule an appointment with a doctor and have yourself tested for fertility. Because again, it's clear that I wasn't the problem when it came to having kids.
How dare you imply that about me? You can't just say that you think I'm the infertile one just because you had kids.
That's not even the point that I really care about, though. My point is that you left me because you thought that I couldn't have kids. You told me that was the reason why you divorced me, but I am telling you now that that is clearly not the case. So all of this, going all back to the divorce, is all your fault.
Are you trying to tell me that I can't have kids on top of that? Does this mean that I'll never be able to have any? That isn't fair!
I have no idea what's going on inside your body, Cameron. That's why I told you to go and talk to a doctor. I just wanted to let you know that you divorced me for a reason that you made up but was never true. Maybe both our bodies just weren't ready for it when we were together, but then again, we weren't together for very long.
How can you say that we weren't together for that long when we were married for a whole year?
I'm not saying anything is certain for a fact, but I'm saying that the reason you gave me for leaving me didn't turn out to be true. And because it wasn't actually true, I'm only suggesting that you go and see a doctor yourself. But honestly, I am glad that you and I never had any children together because it would have made getting the divorce much more difficult. I'm just so happy that I was able to cut all ties with you and not have anything keeping me in touch with you.
You don't have any idea what you're talking about at all. I can have kids. Don't you dare try and tell me that I can't have any kids of my own.
I guess you must be taking this pretty hard, huh? I mean, the whole reason you left me was because you thought I couldn't have kids. And now you're finding out that you might have been the cause of our childlessness all along. But didn't you tell me 3 years ago that you wished you married someone younger? Why don't you just go and try doing that, and then you can prove to me that you really can have kids. After all, you were so confident that it was all my fault when we broke up, don't you remember?
Well, I did have a girlfriend, and she was younger than me, but her and I broke up.
Aren't you leaving out the part where she's the reason you wanted to leave me? Why else would you demand a divorce so suddenly?
Wait a second. You mean you knew that I was seeing someone else when you and I got divorced?
Of course I knew you were cheating on me. I mean, you are so easy to read, it's not even funny. But I didn't have any problem leaving you, so I agreed to the divorce. I thought it was a good chance to cut you off and run.
So then, you wanted to divorce me. You were happy that we broke up?
Of course I was happy. Why would I want to be with a mean husband who was cheating on me this whole time? Who blamed me as the reason why we didn't have any kids together. Of course I wanted to leave you.
But, I mean, I really did think that you couldn't have any kids.
Oh yes, I know exactly why you left me, and we've gone over this a few times now, but now we also see that that isn't true. So again, I recommend that you go and see a doctor about that for your own sake. Or don't listen to me. I really don't care either way. After all, we're not married anymore, and I was hoping to never see you again.
But then, how could you do this? How could you marry someone else and get pregnant by them? How could the baby you have inside you not be my baby?
Okay, is that last one a serious question you had, or are you just still in shock? I mean, how could I even possibly be pregnant with your child when we haven't seen each other in 3 years? You do understand how babies are made, right? Anyways, I guess this meeting wasn't a total waste. At least I feel like I got you back somewhat for all that you did.
Got me back? What do you mean by that? Got me back how? Don't tell me that you were always out for vengeance. Don't you know that I loved you? But I had to let you go.
Oh, please, you called me a stalker and kept insulting me. Are you really going to try and play all nice with me now? You are a sad little creep, and I am glad that you and I broke up. Now have a nice life.
Wait, you mean that you're going to stop talking to me? You're going to leave me just like this?
Of course, we're done talking. I've said all I want to say, now I'm going to go back to enjoying the wedding. But I'm sure you'll get what's coming to you. I'm sure you'll be punished for what you did in good time.
Hello, Linda. I hope you've been doing well.
Oh my gosh, what do you want now?
I wonder if you have a little time to talk. Well, I was wondering if we couldn't get back together. I'll raise your child like it was ours. Please, I was fired after what I did at the wedding, and I don't have anyone else I can turn to.
Well, I don't think that you can come to me either, creep.
Oh, come on. I am trying to be nice here. Why do you have to talk to me that way? I just told you that I was fired, didn't I?
And you really think that I care at all about that? I'm glad you got fired, and I'm not going to help you.
Come on, Linda. Don't be like this.
Honestly, why did you even bother to message me with this? This is just a huge waste of time. And if you really thought this was going to work, then you needed more than a doctor. You need a shrink to fix what's wrong with you. In the end, Linda blocked Cameron on every possible medium and platform. Without a job, Cameron had to move out of his apartment and move into one much smaller. Unable to find a new job in his same field, Cameron had no choice but to take the first jobs he could find. Now he works a couple of part-time jobs and barely makes enough to make ends meet. And Linda, well, she just moved on with her life, had her kid, loves her husband, and hasn't thought back about Cameron since the last day they talked to each other.